Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about my choice of Kate Bush song for Five of Cups. And this is a sad card. It's not a card I like to draw. I think the Rider-Waite figure sums it up very well. He looks despondent, depressed even. He's having to make a difficult decision. He's having to walk away from something that hasn't, whether it's a relationship or a job or whatever, hasn't worked out how he wanted. And people often talk about the fact that there is hope. There are these two cups that are still there. And he's on a journey, I think, isn't he? He's going to a different place, and maybe there's that castle, maybe that's part of his journey and a bridge. But it's still painful to leave a situation that hasn't worked out. And I think I love the artwork on the Crowley, although I think disappointment, again, we tend to use disappointment. I think sometimes we forget how painful disappointment is, but disappointment is about all those projections we put into the future. So sometimes when we losing someone or something, it's not just the fact that we lose that person in the present moment. It is all that we hoped for. All the joy we expected, and all the plans we made, and all the fantasies, and all the things that kept us going and gave us hope. So it's a sad card, and it felt really important to choose a song I loved, because this tarot deck is for myself. What I tend to do is I choose a card for the month, and then I will put the Kate Bush tarot card up in my office, and so I see that card all month. And so I wanted a song that I really loved, one of my favourite songs, and a song that a sad song, but also one that I would enjoy thinking about and listening to, rather than just, oh, I've got a miserable month up ahead, I've got this Five of Cups kind of thing. And I think there are a lot of candidates for this card. I think there's quite a few songs I could have chosen from the Red Shoes album, but I didn't go for the Red Shoes album, which is really just about personal preference, really, in that the song I chose was one of my favourite, and it comes from the Sensual World album, which is an album that I first listened to when I was 16, in the dark, on headphones, when I was with my friends in a youth hostel in Oxford, and trying to get to sleep listening to this tape over and over again. And as I said in the Babushka video, I first listened to Kate Bush as a child, listened to Never Forever, but after then I had a big gap. It wasn't until I was 16 and heard that Sensual World album that I listened to that and was so transported, especially by the Trio Bulgarka sounds, that I then went out and bought every Kate Bush album I could find. So this song is, and before I turn it over, the other thing I'll say is some cards come out really well. And I said, when I did the Nine of Swords, I absolutely loved that card. Now this one is one of my favourite Kate Bush songs, and I've been really frustrated because I can't get this card how I want it to be. I found the photograph quite early on from the John Carter Bush book, which I thought, oh, right, that's the right expression. That is the expression this man would have if we could see his face. And that seemed perfect. But anyway, so this might not be the final version. I might, in the next year or so, change it and try and make it a bit more satisfactory. But this is how it is at the moment. So it is from Never Be Mine. I suppose I chose those lyrics, I look at you and see my life that might have been, because it's So just that kind of decision, that sort of walking away, that moment of transition or whatever. Spot the typo should be that, not what, obviously. Which is another reason why to change this card, I think. And the only thing I've done really is I got some gold leaf, which was, well, fake gold leaf, which is incredibly messy. I think it's probably, there's all sparkles all on my desk now. And just because I thought, well, with fire, there's also that kind of thing about fire having like an element of renewal and beauty in it as well. So there's a really good interview with Kate Bush after she made this album, which I will definitely link because I think it's fantastic. And she talks about this album. She talks about it being very therapeutic to make, which I thought was an interesting. And I think as a writer, I can definitely see that by writing about painful subjects, it is kind of cathartic. It does help the healing process, I think. And she talked also about it being a very female orientated, or had a more female energy than her other albums. And I think that is definitely true. And more so with the presence of the Trio Bulgarka, which I think add a sort of almost a maternal element to it, the maternal energy, or that's what I felt like when I was listening to it at 16. And the other thing she said, which I thought was really particularly interesting for this song, is she talks about intense pieces of landscape. And I thought, well, that's what she's creating here, isn't she? She's creating this scene. And this, she also talks about being inspired by films. And I think this song, you can imagine the film. It's a shame that there isn't like a cloud busting type video to go with it or something, but you can imagine the couple saying goodbye. Perhaps that's sounding quite cheesy now I'm saying it, but I was thinking, I don't know whether you've got any tarot decks that have a couple saying goodbye at 5 of Cups, but what a great scene it would be for that card. And anyway, what I was saying was about the intense landscapes. That is what she creates in this song. And I think what makes it, I'm transported. I can picture myself there and smelling that burning cornfield or whatever. So let me know what your favourite Kate Bush song is. I'd be really interested to know what other songs, because I think there are quite a few candidates for this 5 of Cups. And really look forward to hearing what you think. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.